Welcome to the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Hey, you guys, it is time for the Sonia Buchanan Show again, and I want to bring you introduction into our segment today. We're talking about the Theatrical of Christmas, and I wanted to be a little fun with it because Christmas is always such a joyful time for me and for so many others. But listen, we're going into the segment right after this, and listen, you guys, enjoy the show, and come back and share with us and tell me what you thought about it. Right after this, it's the Theatrical of Christmas. Hi, you guys. Great day, everyone. It is time for the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Listen, you guys, we have a great show for you today. It is 1 week before Christmas, but first, let me give you the title. It's going to be called The Theatrical of Christmas. I was reading a story recently about a priest laid the bombshell on the children and let them know that there's no such thing as Saint Nick. There's no such thing as Santa Claus. And he let all the kids know. And then he added, there is Father Christmas. I started laughing. I said, here we go again. Here we go again. The bombshell of an adult telling the children there's no such thing as Saint Nick. So that just killed their joy, killed their hope, killed the entire faith system that is in them. And and I started laughing. I said, here we go. The one that still kill and destroy the hope, faith system of the child's mind. Okay. And I sat there and I thought, these kids eventually one day is going to grow up and they're going to be in college. And they're going to live life, and they're going to realize there was no such thing as Santa Claus. They will grow up from that. But why take away from their imagination, their faith, their hope? Oh, Saint Nick is going to bring me a red bike or a blue bike. Or Saint Nick is going to bring me a choo-choo train. Or Saint Nick is going to bring me a fire truck. Or it's going to bring me my dad home, the joy of Christmas. It's just part of it, And I know. Everybody say, well, you don't know the stories. Well, you know what? I do know the stories. And it's the fun part about the whole Christmas thing, the theatrical part, But it just amazed me that the people who always want to emphasize there's no such things, they're just so adamant about making sure people know, and these kids, I want them to know there's no such thing as Santa Claus. Why are you so adamant about trying to kill somebody's imagination that brings happy and joy for them? These kids are innocent. They just believing. Well, that's the whole system of having faith. It's teaching them how to believe and having faith. Now, as you grow up and as they have a clear understanding about life, you kind of toward them towards having faith and believing in the Father, God, But it starts somewhere, so they have the whole system, the step 1, the step 2, the step 3, or either the path of understanding how faith works, Well, this can kind of help them have that whole sentimental process of faith working for the benefit of them. It's a good way of teaching them about Christ if you want to teach them about Christ or teach them about whatever God that you serve. But Saint Nick comes one time a year and they are believing, it's kind of like the tooth fairy. I lose a tooth, I gain $1. But there are some who want to kill that joy too, because kids are walking around terribly saddened about losing a tooth. But you won't feel so saddened about losing a tooth if you're going to gain $1. Some people gain 25 cents or however. And some may gain $5. However, lose a tooth, gain some money, so that I can go to the store and buy my favorite whatever it is for the money that you gain for losing a tooth. It's the same theatrical make-believe, but it is amazing to me that adults get to these places in life where they had a wonderful childhood and then they grow up and want to beat the kids for believing in theatrical faith or child magical things that brings joy. But then yet you take your kids to Disney World, which is the same thing. I just don't get it. It's the same theatrical make-believe. We all enjoy Disney World or Disneyland, which one ever you want to go to, Florida or California. But here we are with a priest is laying a bombshell on these children. And then you want to say, well, there's Father God, Father Christmas. Yes, there is Father Christmas. And there's also Saint Nick. And I'm like, wow. I just hope, and not to say anything against the priest, but I just hope that the priest did not get beat up. He's a victim of being beat up when he was a kid. So now he's going to victimize some other kids because he did not get to enjoy or did not receive the favorite red truck that he wanted as a child or a flying airplane, however it is. But listen, you guys, Christmas is about having fun and enjoy. And I promise you, I thought the fruit of the Spirit was love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, joyfulness, and self-control. Well, love and joy, isn't that a part of Christmas? Santa's going to bring me this, Santa's going to bring me that. However is going to bring joy and lift up the spirit of a child, to bring the faith into something that makes life around the holidays the most beautiful and wonderful thing. As I always do, is share a little story about my father. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, my dad, he is such a holiday person. And my mother, every single year during holidays, she will bake a cake for Saint Nick or Santa Claus. And it was always a coconut cake because that was my dad's favorite cake. And now, in my mind at 4 years old, I don't know if I believed there was a Santa Claus or I knew dad was the Santa Claus, However it was just so fun in my house. Lights are everywhere in the house. My dad would have the house just filled with holiday lights and Christmas trees and joy and we would have decorations all over the house and outside the house, just every single place. And my mother would bake the cake and she would take a slice of the cake and put it on a saucer right there by the door for Saint Nick or Santa Claus or my dad. And we would wake up in the morning and we would have to get dressed. My sister and I would have to get dressed, get our hair done, and we would dress and we would go downstairs in the basement. And before we get to the basement, we passed by where the piece of cake was laid out for Santa Claus, and it was always eaten, but it was always a piece of cake left on the plate to let us know that Santa has been to the house. We would go downstairs, and our basement will be filled with toys from wall to wall. It will be packed. Lights are everywhere. Christmas songs is being played. The aroma in the house. This is how I grew up. Festivity. My dad would just be overwhelmed with joy. And I have photos to prove this very thing that I am talking about, because my dad he would have this projector with a camera filming it and taking pictures of his two daughters coming down the stairs, and we would just be like excited. And every year our excitement overextends because my dad would go bigger and better, and it was just so much fun. But did it damage us that we realized that Santa Claus was not real? It was just so much fun. It was just so much love and joy in my house. And I was thinking about that priest telling those children, there's no Santa Claus. Can you imagine him saying that? Can you imagine all the people who like to say, there's no Santa Claus? Why you got to believe in Santa Claus? There's no Santa Claus. La, 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 la. Okay. Somebody is mad. Somebody is upset. It's so funny. There's no Santa Claus. Yeah. But we're going to Disney World next week. Isn't that the same thing? Isn't it the same thing? Santa Claus, Disney World, Disneyland, the Tooth Fairy, okay. Yeah, whatever. I know. I am just very playful around the holidays. I'm really playful anyway. I'm just a playful kid 24/7, 365 days. And and it just brings joy to me to realize that kids enjoy telling Saint Nick, can you bring my mama a husband? And they so believing in this. And they so having faith in the things that they wanted all year round. And they have been a good student in school. They have promised to do their homework and change their elf into a B or the elf into a C. It all has the same mechanism in bringing faith into the joy of the heart of that child. But then here comes somebody with this sword. There's no Santa Claus. There's no Santa Claus to have faith. I don't think the kids are having faith in Santa to bring the gifts. It could just be the foundation that they just have faith. And just so happens, Santa is the one who delivers that. And so I think that is the story that you may want to deliver, trying to deliver, that don't believe in Santa. Well, it's not the believing in Santa, it's believing, period, and having hope, period. It's having faith, period. And someone in a tangible body, which is Santa, who is dressed in a red suit, is going to deliver on what I have in my heart and faith that I want. I think that's a way you can look at it. I think that's the way I probably have narrowed it down, because faith comes from only one source. It doesn't come from anybody who created the character of Santa Claus. Faith only comes from one source. Santa Claus cannot create faith in your heart because he does not have the tools. He does not have the knowledge. He does not have the wisdom to create faith in each child. That is something that is integral in them anyway. Santa has nothing to do with that. So to come every single year and bring a sword and a club and a sharp arrow and beat the children upside the head, get rid of your faith, get rid of your faith. That is because they have not thought about the whole scenario, what you do to a child during a joyful holiday season for them to receive a toy or receive something that they're having faith for their parents, because all children don't have faith in a toy and a bike. They may be having faith that their parents may be getting together. And they having faith that Santa is going to go to both of their homes and bring their parents together, and they're going to come and live with them as a family. We don't know what the children are having faith in within their hearts. and Santa is delivering on that, But the whole scenario of the thing, and I understand how Santa came about, but the whole operation, I say that no one cannot create the mechanism of how faith operates. Anything of a negative energy cannot create faith, because faith is created out of love and hope and joy and kindness and gentleness. Negative energy cannot create any of that. So it's almost you take a positive with a negative and beat them upside the head. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Well, having faith in doing the holidays and Santa Claus is almost saying, I'm going to kill your joy and you're not going to enjoy the festivities of the holidays of Christmas. Because there is no Saint Nick, there is no Santa Claus, there's no man coming down a chimney. And what if you don't have a chimney? They're going to bring that too. You don't even have a chimney. I'm not sure if Florida houses have chimneys. I don't see why they would. But, the whole scenario and the stories and the Christmas stories and the cartoons of the Christmas stories, that Saint Nick comes down the chimney. Well, what happens if he doesn't have the chimney? Well, I tell you what happens when he doesn't have the chimney. We didn't have a chimney. We didn't have a fireplace, but Saint Nick still came to our house because the piece of cake that was sitting there at the door for Saint Nick, he eaten it. He sat down because my mother would have a chair right there in a little table, with the cake. He sat down, ate the cake, left a piece to let us know that he's been to the house and he delivered our toys for us, Well, however you create and design the hope and the love and the joy of your children's heart and having this fullness of faith within the whole entire season. I'm telling you, it's about aroma. It's about the atmosphere and what you do in everything you do. And as I stated earlier, negative energy cannot create faith, because faith is the foundation of principles and love and kindness and goodness and just bringing things in order and just life in general. That's why Disney World and Disneyland is so powerful, because when you go there, it's like a magical place and you have the most wonderful time dressing up in character. And so you guys, you got anybody in your life who likes to remind folks that they hate the fact that Santa Claus is a symbol of fakeness and this and that? Well, life sometimes do that. We have a lot of stuff that's fake, but we still have to deal with it. But if it's attached, if it's bringing life and it's bringing a miraculous change in someone's life, because I remember growing up in kids that a parent says, you're not going to get any toys because you have been so terrible all year, your grades, blah, 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 and all of a sudden they start reading books and they start changing the grades. It gave a better outlook and it changed the course of their schoolwork, knowing that Santa was going to bring them whatever, But you guys, let's not kill joy. Let's bring joy. And if you can somehow figure out how to tell the story about Christmas and if you don't want to bring in Saint Nick or Santa Claus, you don't have to. Okay? But let's not be killjoy for the children at no course of life, because at a young age, it really does kind of structure your adult age, Some people are still dealing with child abuse and child damaging when they was a kid as an adult. And we spend years and years and years in therapy trying to get rid of that. Let's not have these kids to be at an adult trying to get rid of the bombshell of just kill my joy, kill my faith. It may not even be Saint Nick. It could just be anything. Let's like start out trying to raise our children to be a healthy individual. And we're adults. We can change our words and kind of change it into a way that it won't damage the whole essence of who they are. And Christmas is one of those times that will bring life to a child. But listen, you guys, this is the end of our podcast, and I just want to bring to you today a little laughter and a little joy, and remind you that Christmas is coming, and let's be joyful. Yes, we are going through a series of chaos around the world, but Christmas is still joyful. And if you can think of one little light of joy, just one little light of joy. Just one little light of joy about what makes Christmas so special to you. And it'll bring a smile in a place of chaos, in a place of darkness. If you have darkness around you, it'll bring a joy of light. And enjoy your holiday. This is your girl, Sonia Buchanan, with the Sonia Buchanan Show, where we inspire one life, one smile at a time. Until next week, You guys have a great holiday. Bye, you guys. Thank you for joining our podcast today. The podcast was produced and edited by Sonia Buchanan. For more information about the host, you can go to soniabuchanan.com. For information about Confident Promises broadcast community, you can go to confidentpromises.com. Thank you for listening to our broadcast, The Sonia Buchanan Show, where we focus on one life, one smile at a time. Until next time, bye you guys.